As we leave the chaos of Sonoma traffic behind, we move forward to another extremely popular venue, sure to draw new eyes and satisfy old ones alike. Hello and welcome back to another soon-to-be huge week of the iRacing IMSA Vintage Series. This track guide is brought to you by Vice Classic Racing, the home of Kamel GT, and AV Fuel Synthesizers. His secret formula will guarantee seconds of pace. For this week of the calendar, we're moving back across to Europe to visit an infamous track in the racing world, the Nürburgring Nordschleife in Germany. Most don't need to be told, but this whopping 15-mile track is unlike any other. Full of every type of corner imaginable, the VLN layout is a battle against the tarmac and your own nerves. Will you make it through to the end or end up in a twisted wreckage at turn 1? Here's a lap with our top-rated driver. Here we are with Eric Neat, straight past the start-finish line on the GP track and onto the run into turn 1. Brake early because this downhill will be tricky to stop for. Keep it tight and exit to the right for the arena section, where understeer will try to spit you wide. Down into the next turn, again ensuring you keep it close to the apex as it'll spit you out into another tight right-hander quickly after. You can abuse some of the runoff here to keep up speed. You'll have to go slower than you think for the next shortcut, a winding corner that takes us out to the last sector of the track. Through towards the Bilstein curve, you're likely to be struggling a little bit here on this part of the track, and that's fine, the car is set up for the Nordschleife. Due to the 40-minute length of the race, it's not likely you'll meet traffic, but if you do, this is a great place to overtake as many as possible. Through Advenbogen here, and we'll move up to the NGK chicane. And that'll be the end of the GP section, so now the fun begins as we turn on to the Nordkehr and onto the infamous track itself. Past the tiny pits here, get down to second gear for this little left-hander. It's very slow. The next few corners are mostly flat, just a straight shot down into Hotzenbach. Through here, you'll need to be very mindful of the curves as the Nissan will bounce violently if you hit them incorrectly. Careful management of the throttle and brake pedals are required to get through this short, twisty section. Next, it's important, using the flatter right-hand curves, you need to carry all the speed you can onto the Flugplatz area. It's a place where the car really takes off, although not quite the Nissan. Straight downhill into an uphill of the massive crest. Audis will be all fall wheels off the ground. For us, it's flat straight through the corner with our downforce. Exit in at Cotton Barn and onto the massive straight, where passing may be a risky opportunity for those with balls. Coming up to Schwetenkreuz, it's mostly flat, but keep it tucked inside for the heavy braking zone of Arenberg. It's incredibly easy to brake far too late and go wide into the barriers here. Trying to avoid the huge exit curve, we'll be flying downhill again past Postbrook, full speed into 5th gear, little right-hander, little left-hander, all the way down into the compression, where you'll be glued to your seat and your insides will be rolling. But no reprieve, fast uphill into Adenauer, a tricky left-handed braking zone that turns into a fast, slow chicane. Get your braking correct or you'll be skipping the whole section. A moment to catch your breath on this small straight section. Well, it's very narrow and you may find the odd battle here, so be very wary. Coming into Metzgefeld, we're completely flat in the Nissan, but the outside grass comes very quickly at you. On a full tank, a lift may be necessary. Hard braking into the next corner and down into Kallenhardt, which requires a later apex and a dab of curb usage on the exit. More acceleration down into another deep compression on the inside of Spiegel curve, and onto a very long winding triple right-hander. You have to be very brave here, but it'll still require a lift and a downshift. And coming straight down into the slowest corner of the track, Versifen, and still only second gear for us. Make sure you don't brake too late, especially in a heavier car. Another small reprieve which quickly ends as we head to Breitscheide. Moderate braking, third gear, use all the width of the track. Little bumpy on the exit, and a quick downshift to second up to Exmoor. And now, full acceleration, full speed. A great opportunity to get some passes done here on either class. Through the Lauda Memorial corner and hard braking, not leaving it too late, using the downforce through the corner to get a fast launch into the rising uphill. Listen to the Nissan roar as it reaches up to 175 miles per hour on this backstraight. Fast approaching mud curve, almost fully flat except maybe the first lap. Dip a wheel on the grass on the outside and you can say goodbye to your side panels. Up into a small crest again, mostly flat, but it'll suddenly push you wide. And then into another braking zone, down to second gear, keep it tight on the inside, late apex, and launch towards the infamous carousel. Very bumpy, second gear, keep the car aligned to the concrete surface and feather the throttle to get pinballed through. A small oasis of breathing here as we accelerate flat. Completely flat through the next left-hander, but downshift once and roll through the twists up into Hoacht, the highest point on the track. And from here now, the part of the track that separates the GTPs from the GT lights. Fast right-hander quickly turns into a fast left-hander Whipperman. Abuse as much curve as you're willing to risk as the car can really bounce here. A small compression, fast uphill into Eschbach. Throttle out early using all the track and downhill again for a longer left-hander. Small lift to get round and a downshift for the 90-degree Brunchen. Wave to the fans as you zoom by. Careful on the outside here, a rare gravel trap and potent curves. Coming up to Ice Curve, a slippery, slow corner. The exit curve is enticing, but avoid it, as the car will bounce. Downhill into the fast S's and coming up to Flansgarten. Most cars would be braking before the bump, but just a downshift and exit for us. Damn near flat through here, using all the track, and now from here, fully flat. Big jump, and the downfalls keeps us safe through all of this. Full acceleration, and no lifting. Nearly toward the end of the trickier section, late braking into the super fast right-hander into Schwalbenschwanz, third gear powering out down into the mini carousel. Second gear, don't go too fast or it'll spit you right out. Full acceleration into the winding final corner. Carry as much speed as possible, trust the downforce and onto the almost mile-long Dottinger Ho. A major source of slipstream. If you're 1 second behind, you're going to be speeding past the opposition on this straight. Almost every overtake on the track will happen here. The cars are set up for it. It's a huge game of strategy. Who goes first? Which side do you pick? Do you risk the side-by-side as it slowly narrows towards the end? Who knows? Down into Antonius Buca, full speed, past Tiergarten, still pinning the throttle and the uphill. And wait for it. Finally, braking hard and downshifting into second gear to the last chicane. And that's it, a full long journey of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Stay tuned for the current VCR standings. Stay subscribed for more each week, and we'll see you in the next one. Are you planning to brave the race on the Nordschleife this week? Phone in and let us know which car you're planning to tame in the comments below. Terms and conditions apply. Comments may be subject to standard effort fees in your region. No refunds or guarantees offered. Kamel. GT.